So the Philippines has declared a state of national calamity following Typhoon Haiyan. 4 days now since it struck and millions of people are affected. These some of the latest pictures coming to us. The official number of dead continues to climb. That official total now at 1,744 killed. However, the United Nations says 10,000 people are feared dead in the city of Tacloban alone. Thousands are trying to get on military planes to flee those destroyed areas. The biggest challenge, of course, is to provide aid to the millions of people affected. Dozens of countries have promised to provide help. Part of the aid is being coordinated from Cebu. That is where Craig Leeson joins us from now. Craig, tell us what's happening there now.
Well, we've just come from Mactan Edwin Air Force Base in the capital, Cebu, where those people you were just talking about are fleeing from the drama and the disaster that was once their home down in Tacloban. They're streaming off these C-130s. There's 3 of these big Hercules planes that are working in rotation. They land, they unload the injured and those who want to get out of the disaster area. They refill with aid and supplies. They take off. They land in Tacloban and the whole process starts all over again. And each time one lands, it's a stream of people heading into the Air Force Base. We witness people being carried off the plane by their relatives, being taken to the military hospital just at the back of that Air Force Base for treatment.
And when you talk about aid, Craig, tell us about the amounts and the levels of that aid. Obviously, a lot is being pledged and there are promises. I wonder, 4 days in, how much is getting into these people?
Well, lots of aid is coming, and you can see that on the at the Air Force on the field waiting to be loaded up, and we witnessed it and filmed it being loaded up and taken off. There's no problem with that, although the Philippines government says it can do with all the help it can get. The problem is once it reaches the Mission Central in Tacloban, the capital of Leyte Island, where this typhoon caused the most destruction in the Philippines. Once it gets there, it's getting it out to the regions and the people who need it most. Survivors who still, many of them say, haven't eaten for 4 days. They're searching for water amongst the debris that litters the ground. Many of them are in states of desperation, fighting each other for the food that they do find, going into other people's houses. One person told about how he stepped across the body of someone who owned that particular house just to get food. He said it was shameful. He said, but what choice do I have? I need to survive. So stories of absolute desperation here, and we're still seeing problems with that aid reaching survivors in the remote corners of this province.
And where are people, I mean, you're talking about people not getting any food for 4 days. Where are they staying? Where are they living? Are there shelters and places there? What are they doing?
Well, shelters are being brought in, along with tents and food and water and sanitation devices and body bags. But the problem is where these people are not getting this, and you see some of this stuff is being looted as it's coming across the bridge, which was reopened recently. The aid's just not reaching them. And if you can imagine what it must be like to be in this situation where during the day it's hard enough to walk around this debris that's scattered everywhere, but at night time when there's no power, so there's no lights, trying to find somewhere to put your head down when your stomach is hungry and you spend all day searching for food and water and potentially relatives and friends. It becomes a very tragic story indeed, and that's what thousands of people are going through on a nightly basis here.
Craig Leeson giving us some really good insight into what's going on there in Cebu. Thank you so much for that, Craig. We'll talk more about Tacloban, which Craig did talk about, one of the hardest hit areas. Hundreds of thousands have lost their homes there, and as Wayne Hay reports, it's hard to deliver aid when the infrastructure has been so badly damaged.
First light brings new hope for many people in the central Philippines. Each day it signals the arrival of flights by the military. They're bringing in much-needed relief supplies and taking people out of an area largely destroyed by Typhoon Haiyan. Getting on board are the injured and sick, and those who have lost everything. People walk for huge distances to get to the airport in the hope they may find some food or water being given out by the military, or a ticket out. Etched on their faces, the pain of what's becoming an increasingly desperate situation. Many people who have chosen to stay for now are still struggling to come to terms with the disaster.
We really want want to get out of the house because the water is really coming in. I have 3 kids. I don't know what to do, and then we transferred to the house of my mother.
As the people walk, they pass many bodies on the side of the road. In places, the stench is becoming unbearable. Removing the bodies is a slow process. Those that have been collected are taken to a makeshift morgue where local officials attempt to identify them, after which they're being taken to mass graves. It is very early days, but from what we've seen, there is very little recovery effort going on. Clearly, there is still not enough food and water to go around, and there doesn't seem to be anyone picking through the rubble looking for the missing. At the moment, people still seem to be in survival mode. Many challenges lie ahead for this city and its people. While there is security in some places and a nighttime curfew in place, looting is still a problem. Here, the remains of a supermarket were being picked through and taken away. Small teams of medics are doing the best they can to treat basic wounds suffered during the storm. But with so many bodies lying around and no sanitation, other health problems may soon arise.
We want to prevent diarrhea because we don't have water as of now. And then also from those who have fever and, of course, maybe leptospirosis.
There is very little people can do about those concerns right now. For the most part, they're fending for themselves in a city that's been torn apart. Wayne Hay, Al Jazeera, Tacloban.
As you see from those pictures, some of the roads have just been swept away. Delivering aid is obviously very difficult. However, the Red Cross says help is on the way.
Well, as you can imagine, and as you've just heard, a massive response is being planned and also being implemented as we speak. From here in Kuala Lumpur, the International Federation is mobilizing relief supplies. That's basically non-food items, water bladders so that water can be supplied. Water tanks will be sent from here to Manila in the next few days. From Dubai, we're coordinating other supplies, hygiene kits, which are very important, very basic things like soap and toothpaste and diapers, etc., for families. And basically coordinating our response. Basically, we are supporting the Philippines Red Cross and its activities. So we have on standby, we have experts in health, in logistics, in all manner of relief operations, and when those are needed, we send them in. And as we speak, as I said, many of those people are on their way.